welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, gonna go over a story titled Girlfriend and Best Friend, ? And guys, this story is about a guy. He had a girlfriend for a number of years, as well as a best friend. This best friend of him had been bros for a while, and they're actually cousins. And lately, he's been noticing a lot of suspicious behavior between him and his girlfriend and his best friend. His best friend's been going through some hard times, and she's been there for him, amongst many other things. And he's obviously been, unfortunately, a bit naive when it comes to certain things about them and guys and gals hanging out and all that. And unfortunately, you're going to find out that this doesn't go too well for him and his girl. You're going to see here, this is a classic example of pay attention to red flags. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And how for guys that do relationships, your girlfriend should not be hanging out with other dudes. Hanging out with other dudes, texting other dudes, not going to happen. If she doesn't like it, then you can say, hey, then we don't have to be together. End of story, because it's a bad idea. Men and women cannot be friends, okay, in terms of hanging out and all that. You can be acquainted, you see each other, gatherings and parties, you get along, but in terms of like hanging out, having relationships, texting, that type of thing, bad idea. And it's been proven that way many, many times. And it's also going to show you guys how, sadly, even your best friend can stab you in the back. And there's times in life where you got to cut people out of your life completely. So, you're going to see more as I go into the story. Starts off, he says, hey guys, I'm really starting to question the relationship my girlfriend and best friend have. The proximity between them both, when we were around, has raised some concerns, and I feel like I don't even want to be around, I don't want them to be around one another. My best friend, who's been in my life for roughly 10 years, just recently got out of a toxic relationship. Over the past 6 months, I have been with my girlfriend talking and helping him move on. At one point, I even left my house in the middle of the night to go check on him because I thought he was going to end his own life. He's better now, but he still has a long way to go. So this guy you can see here is a good guy. He's there for his bro, Bad relationship, broke up. Unfortunately, that kindness isn't returned and it's taken advantage of. So the reason I feel really uncomfortable is that my girlfriend has started texting him a lot more. She shouldn't be doing that. You should have nipped that in the bud right away. Said, we're there to help him and everything like that, but no, I don't want you texting him, not cool. And the same thing to him. We have an open phone policy, which I used to check more, but over the years, I stopped because I have unwavering trust in her. Smack. You never stop. Trust but verify. That line is quite warranted in this situation. Now she's constantly on it and is a bit more secretive with her phone, in my opinion. I don't want to tip her off, so I haven't asked to see her phone yet, but I want to. How many times, gentlemen, in these stories, when a guy senses something's going on, when suddenly his girl, wife, whatever, is guarding her phone, like it's the most important thing in the world to her, and secretive about it, something's up. The last time we all hung out was around Halloween for a costume party. Really, it was just 5 people, my girlfriend and I, and my best friend and 2 other mutual friends. We all drank a lot and played video games together until it got late, and we had the idea to send someone to get food. My girlfriend was the only one sober to drive, so she was designated to go. I decided to stay because I was in the middle of a game with a friend, so I told my best friend to go with her, as I trust both of them. You can see where this is going. They didn't come back until 5:45 in the morning and left around 1 o'clock. Bro, come on. This says everything. They're texting all the time. She's guarding her phone as if her life depended on it. Now they're gone. You're kind of putting them in a situation there. I mean, they're the a-holes, as we're all going to find out, but still. After about an hour in, I started getting worried and called to no answer from my girlfriend or best friend. I tried multiple different times, but again, nothing. Eventually, I just kept drinking until I forgot about it, and it was quite upsetting. When she got home, everyone was either asleep or going to bed, so I pulled her aside and demanded to know what she was up to. She said that he started crying about his ex, and she didn't want to bring him back in the state, so they decided to park and talk to him until he got better. I'm sure she was telling the truth about them parking, but they were doing more than talking. We went back and forth, but I didn't know what else to say. It was suspicious to say the least. I had to drop it though. No other evidence to say she did something. Bro, there's all sorts of evidence. All sorts of evidence and red flags here. This is when you say, you know what? We're taking some time apart because I know you're not telling the truth. You're going to tell me right fucking now. Or no, actually, you're going to tell me right now what's really going on. I don't want to hear this bullshit because I know something's going on. Or we're done. And play that hand, see what happens. But he never should have gotten this far. Or you're not going to be talking to him anymore. No more texting, no more hanging out. And I'd confront that best friend of his because his best friend's obviously in a weakened state from his breakup. And obviously he's now wants her, right? I'd go to that best friend and say, what the fuck is going on here? And I would just ride his ass until he finally admitted it. I've moved on, but I'm still rather suspicious and anxious. We are hosting another party and roughly the same people for my birthday right after Christmas. I'm nervous of my girlfriend and best friend being close, but I don't want to make a scene, so what do? You grow some balls and you say something to both of them, okay? Yeah, you don't have any concrete physical proof, but you got enough red flags here to start laying down the law. And I guarantee you that if he really dug into his best friend, this so-called best friend, the guy would open up. Until he has more concrete proof with the girl, as these stories show, she's never going to cave. She's never going to give in what's going on. We've been together for 5 years, and I really want this relationship to work, so I'm really nervous on what to do. Thanks in advance. Dude, don't be a pussy. That's what pretty much all I can say here. 5 years, okay? There are other women out there, okay? I get you put your time in and you care about her and all that, but really, something's going on. Now for an update. He says, thanks so much for the advice and support that I've gotten this so far. A lot commented and messaged me giving their thoughts, and I just want to say thank you again. A lot of you pointed out that my situation sounds similar to stories on Reddit of a partner cheating with a close friend. I've been reading a few, and honestly, I'm scared it's eerily similar. You read enough of these stories, you see a lot of patterns here. So I went through her phone Saturday night to hopefully find some answers. When she fell asleep, I went straight to her messages with my best friend. My heart was racing. I didn't find anything compelling as far as if she was cheating on me, but I did notice that they text a lot, like nearly daily. You should never have allowed this. And even if you lay down the law right now, I said, you're not talking together or we're done, still, something's up. A lot of what's up and how are you coming from my girlfriend. This obviously isn't damning, but it gives credit to my feelings of them being very close. I'm not a huge fan of that, especially when she's not being forthcoming and giving proper reassurances. Well, how do you know she's not deleting her text? He doesn't mention anything about that. Or there's other ways of communication. Another thing I found is that she has vented to my best friend about over a petty fight we had approximately a week ago. She didn't trash me or anything, but this is really uncommon coming from her. She's a secretive person with her personal life and especially our fights. He also didn't dog me or anything, but I feel like it's a massive red flag combined with the context. You need to, he's obviously not doing this, but he needs to confront the best friend. And honestly, when there's enough smoke, there's fire. Enough red flags. And his gut is telling him something's wrong. I also look for any messaging apps, WhatsApp, Snapchat, etc., and again, didn't find anything compelling. Well, she's obviously smart enough to cover her tracks here. I should mention that my partner is very skilled with technology, ding, 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 so hiding evidence from me might not be that hard. It makes me think that there is a secret app I'm not aware of, or even if she deleted damning messages, it isn't hard. She does have a work phone, but I'm not quite sure how to get my hands on it, let alone know the passcode. There you go. Or how about email? Or how about messages on like social media or something? Other social media. I just feel paranoid. Everything seems so good between the two of us, but now it feels like a nightmare. Am I the a-hole for being suspicious? No, brother. Is she really just trying to be a good friend? Am I overreacting? I really want this to work out, but my mind is fucked trying to calm myself down. Then stop going nuts over this whole thing, and like I said from the beginning, you confront the friend. That's what you do, because he'll cave. She'll just lie through her teeth. As these stories show, the guy will confront the girl, and he can have evidence, and still, she'll deny, even with evidence. And you've all heard it. What am I going to do? Well, I don't want to tip them off by asking either of them about it. I feel like they will go underground further with the evidence. It bothers the hell out of me, but I want the truth, and I'm willing to wait 100% to know. I think my best course of action would be to continue to monitor how she behaves and how they act at the party. I'm going to stay sober, as a few of you suggested, maybe a few beers, but nothing major. Now, ordinarily, I would just say, there's enough smoke, there's fire, and your gut's telling you something, break up with her. But obviously this guy's not going to do that because he's been with her for 5 years, he's in love with her, all that, But he does have a right to confront the best friend, so-called best friend, and he'd cave. But if not, then he can find his evidence. And, well, in the final update here, you're going to see what's going on. He says, I started to go out more recently, mostly to keep my mind occupied. I've been to the gym and occasionally meet up with coworkers to pick up for sports. It's been great for my mental and physical health. I tell you guys all the time, hit the gym, work out, get exercise. If gym isn't your thing, go for a bike ride, go for a jog, whatever. Get yourself moving. The day before Christmas Eve, I thought I would try to change things up and come home a few hours before I normally do when I go to the gym. When I walked in, she was cooking in the kitchen and had a recipe on her phone and was laying unattended on the counter. I said hello to her as I walked up by the phone towards the cupboard for a cup. Her phone lit up with text message photo from none other than the best friend. Imagine that. Before she even knew she had a text, I grabbed the phone, unlocked it, and saw what I had been after. They were both, wait for it guys, sending nudes to one another. There you go. His gut was right. Or that's all I saw because I immediately confronted her. I asked her, what the F is this? She looked at me and I could immediately tell she knew what I was referring to. She went straight into damage control mode, trying to convince me it was a stupid mistake, and she just got carried away because of the attention. You're both sending naked pictures of each other, and it's a stupid mistake, and you got caught up with the attention. Now, I'm not going to deny about the attention thing. We all know gals crave and live for attention and validation. But she's a piece of shit, and their so-called best friend's a piece of shit. There's nothing else to say. It's over. End of story. Pack your shit and get the fuck out of the apartment. I don't care if your name's on the lease. Get out. He says here, it's my best effing friend. I asked her how long this has been going on, to which she replied recently, roughly a month or so, but I don't know, could be longer. She just started weeping and apologizing over and over. Yeah, the same old thing, the waterworks. I'm so sorry. I'll do anything to make it up to you, blah, blah, blah. I then started grilling her on actually what happened at the night of the Halloween party because I now know I don't believe a word she says. Now listen to this part. And in a moment, for any of you guys that saw the movie Clerks, you all know what I'm talking about. You're going to see what I read here is going to sound very familiar to a scene in the movie Clerks. The girlfriend admitted that something did go on that night. Something. She had tears streaming down her face and looked nauseous. She paused for a good minute or so, and then she asked me. She paused for a good minute or so, and then she told me that he asked her for a BJ. At first, she said no, but then she gave in and did it. She kept saying it didn't mean anything, and I was just trying to make him feel better. I'm so sorry. What the F? I can't begin with my best friend. He requested a BJ, and she was like, okay. It didn't mean anything. I was just trying to make him feel better. Shit. That's better than therapy. What a load of crap. Didn't mean anything. I got news for you. When some dudes, you know what is in his girlfriend's mouth, that does mean something. Remember, this is when she was gone for like 4 hours. Remember that? Talking to him in the car. When I heard all this, I just broke down crying. My heart was shattered into a million pieces by the two closest people in my life. My girl, who I practically worshipped, just goes and does that with my best friend. Smack. Well, there's a problem there. This doesn't justify her behavior, but the fact that he, and this doesn't surprise you, girlfriend I practically worship. No guy should ever be treating their girl in that type of manner. That only leads to disaster. No girl respects a guy that kisses the ground that she walks on, kisses her ass, worships her, all that. Come on. He's seen too many movies. He says, and of all the people, what the actual fuck? Why the F would you do something to someone you love? Because she doesn't love you, doesn't respect you. She's an a-hole, and your friend's a piece of shit. Maybe I was just angry, but I said to her, why wouldn't you just go the full mile and just hook up? Why just a BJ? That's like the scene in Clerks when Dante's girlfriend admitted she had sucked 36 sausages, and he freaked out, and he said, why'd you have to suck their you-know-what? Why couldn't you just, F them like normal people? Like right out of Clerks. She responded that she would never do that, and to please believe her. Oh, because she's been so honest up to this point. I guess in her mind, a BJ isn't that bad. How could I when she just admitted cheating on me? I yelled at her that I don't believe her, and I'm done with the whole effing relationship. She started crying hysterically and grabbed onto my arm, which I pulled away immediately. After going back and forth for what I felt like forever, I got up and told her to get the F out of my place. Good job. Exactly. It's done. It's over. No, I don't want to hear more crying or explanations. Get your shit and get the fuck out. You can go stay with him. Go get an apartment with him. It was a struggle to get her out the door, but eventually she left. I got blasted with texts and phone calls from her begging for a second chance. It's amazing how these acts will happen. They get caught, and then begging and pleading for a second chance. Not happening. I know you guys told me, but I don't think anyone can be prepared for this, let alone accept that your partner, who you adore, can betray you so easily. Not to mention, and I didn't originally include it, but my best friend is also my cousin. It's your best friend as well. Yeah, so this is his best friend and a relative. So guess what? He's always going to be a relation to him. I still love her. Smack. But I can't accept a betrayal this massive. All I'm thinking is 5 whole years down the drain. I feel hopeless and destroyed. I just hope I can pull myself out of this. On top of it all, this happened right before Christmas Eve, which is usually the day we go celebrate with her family. I decided to stay home and play video games all day. Thank you all for the support and advice. It did help me a lot, so I'm forever grateful. I'm just going to pick up the pieces, the worst case scenario, but I think I'm strong. So there you go, guys. Where there's smoke, there's fire every time. And I'm sure all you guys in the beginning of this story, those that watch these shows regularly, you can see all this coming a mile away. Bottom line is this: for your relationship guys, your girl should not be hanging out with other dudes, hanging out with, texting, all that. Even if they both seem like stand-up people, doesn't matter. It's a bad idea. Guys and gals shouldn't be friends. And if you tell your girl that you don't want her hanging out with another dude, or texting or whatever, and she throws a tantrum and starts labeling you all these things, insecure, controlling, whatever, just say, hey, you can either choose to have that friendship with him or have a relationship with me. You're not going to have both. It's your choice. And she'll throw a tantrum and say, you're so controlling and you're so insecure. And like, okay, there you go. You just told me what I need to know. And you walk away. And either one of two things will happen. She'll move on. You'll break up and then you won't have to deal with her. Or she'll get her act in line and be pissed off about it. But eventually you will have shown your strength. Now, but then you have to worry, is she going to still just go back on you anyway? You never know. But the point is, this is just a bad idea. And also, I might add, is he should have confronted his friend and said, what the fuck is going on? You're not talking or not hanging out. I get you're healing. I get you're broken from being dumped. But don't fuck up my thing because you're unhappy. And it's amazing, the old misery loves company thing. He was probably jealous of him and was now longing for attention from a woman to there him, so went after his girl. And also, guys, it's obvious already, you guys have bros that have girlfriends. You don't go hanging out with the girl. Don't go talking to the girl, texting with the girl, all that. Bad idea. Don't go there. It's not worth it. If you're dying for a piece of ass, you can get a piece of ass, not your bros, not your buddy's girlfriend or whatever. God's sakes. Now, all I can say is this guy should just take it day by day, never get back with her, block both of them on social media, text, email, all that. The guy, his so-called best friend's his cousin, but I make it clear, after I think the guy deserves a well-deserved punch in the face, we're no longer friends, we're no longer cousins, we're no longer family, don't ever fucking talk to me again. And I don't want to hear that he feels bad, that he's so depressed he might off himself. It's not his problem anymore. We're still technically related by blood, but we're not friends, we don't have anything to do with each other. That's just how I see things as a middle-aged guy, given my life experience. And take it day by day and move on from there. Keep hitting the gym like he was. He'll feel better in time. But do not take her back, because she'll only do it again. And the next time he has a girlfriend, do not worship her and all that, what he described. That's a bad idea. Focus on yourself. Take care of yourself. You can treat her well, as long as she treats you well, loyal, supportive, all that. But this worship crap, kiss the ground she walks on, put her on the pedestal, that's the worst thing you can do. And any woman that actually is honest would admit that's the worst thing you can do. They instantly lose respect for you. And when a woman loses respect for a man, it's done. She'll never love him. Now, a few comments to wrap this up. One guy says, it's really sad, but people of quality don't do that sort of thing. You need to end it with both of them. They betrayed you and stabbed you in the back. If it didn't mean anything, I guess you wouldn't mind getting BJs. I guess you wouldn't mind you getting BJs from other women. I doubt it. As for your friend, I would inform him that your friendship is over. He can have her. Be strong. You will get through this. Yeah. How would she feel if he was getting BJs from other girls because it's no big deal? Please. The guy says here, 5 years down the drain is better than the rest of your life. Consider it a blessing in disguise. By the way, what an a-hole of a best friend. Yeah. And one more guy says, I'm so sorry. She definitely didn't know how to hide her deeds. Anyone who did this to you doesn't deserve to be in your life. Best friend and girlfriend are both terrible and deserve each other to make each other miserable. They clearly do not care about hurting those they claim to love. At least you know now you can start to move on. Yeah, that's all he can do. And I hope he ends this thing all the wiser, that he never treats a girl like he treated her before. And also he's careful with any future friends in the future and knows no girl from having buddies, or it's not going to work. End of story. And you guys got to be strong and lay down the law. Problem is, so many guys have such a scarcity mindset. They think so low of themselves that they'll take anything they get. And therefore they'll put up with bad terms. Girlfriends having guy friends they hang out with because they're afraid that this is the only girl I'm ever going to get, so I got to make her happy. And therefore your own fear of not getting anybody else or better, or fear of losing her, causes you to have actions that cause your own demise. Really is interesting how that works. But when guys are focused on themselves, self-improvement, their purpose, becoming the best they can be, they build themselves up and they realize, I don't need this shit in my life. I'm happy as is. And any girlfriend I may have will be a nice addition to my life. But you know what? I'm so happy with myself. I do well. I'm making something of myself in this world. I take care of myself. People like me. That if she tries to offer shitty terms in a relationship, i.e. her having male friends to hang out with or whatever, I'll break up with her. Because she's not the end-all be-all for me. And I know I can get other women. But guys that think they don't have a whole lot to offer and don't have a lot of options, they'll put up with bullshit. And make her the center of their universe and kiss her ass out of fear of losing her, and shit happens. So guys do have some fault in some of these things that happen to them, I'll be honest here. But at the end of the day, still, nothing excuses the behavior of these a-hole gals, what they pull off. So, alright guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.